The Psychotic Time Wasters present Whose League Is It Anyways? This season starring
Now you see him, now you don't. And now you see him again. It's Wizard's Lizard. Do you feel lucky, punk? Well, do you? It's PTW Kink. Bouncy, bouncy. Oh, such a good time. It's PTW Guitar Man. These nuts are for the squirrels. It's PTW Vo. Fat bottom on to make the rockin' world go round. It's Daphios. He will fist you. It's PTW King. Honk, honk. It's Bolo in the zoo in the morning. It's I Burned It.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Whose League Is It Anyways? You're watching Season 5, Match 1, and tonight we have PTW Wizards Lizards, PTW Kink, PTW Guitar Man, and PTW Vo. How we doing?
That's a lot of PT dubs.
It sure is. I think this is the first all PTW match, to be honest.
Waste some time.
Indeed.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't mean that's what we're best at. That's why we're here. It's been a minute. It's been another about a month and a week behind the scenes here in between seasons, and still everybody wouldn't shut up about it.
We're having withdrawals.
Oh, but you as a viewer won't feel any lag in this constant stream of content we are making for you. So please enjoy.
If you didn't know, it's the original Commander League game show on the internet where everything is made up and the points are the only thing that matters, which is why we're not going to really talk about the rules. They'll be on the screen if you're watching this later on YouTube. We're going to just talk about the points. Vo, what new season points do we have this season?
We're keeping some things, we're changing some things around. Craig has given us a few point categories. When we roll for turn order, if you roll a 20, you get a point and the initiative. He also has given us a points category for if you can deal 20 damage with a single source. The main change here is that, well, we're playing D&D. We've got points for getting through those dungeons. You got to get that experience. For each unique dungeon, you can redeem points once per game. And what would D&D be without dice rolling? So for every dice between a D4 and a D20, if you crit roll that dice, there are points that scale up to the D20. Other than that, everything is mostly the same.
Excellent. And obviously, this is match 1, so there are no scores. Everybody's in first place, tied at 0. We are playing D&D this season. It's D&D themed. And we'll go ahead and start in turn order with Wizard. What you playing this season? Season 5.
I am playing Imoen Mystic Trickster. It is a 2/3 for 2 and a blue with Ward 2. And at the beginning of your end step, if you have the initiative, draw a card. Draw another card if you've completed a dungeon. So yeah, I'm definitely trying to lean in on the dungeon mechanic. And with my background, I have Far Traveler, which is 2 and a white for commander creatures you own have at the beginning of your end step. Exile up to 1 target tapped creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. So my hope is to play some cards that say when it enters the battlefield, venture into the dungeon, to tap it during the combat phase, and then to flicker it back into play.
That sounds
$25
very
budget.
annoying.
I call this dungeon speed running. This is like if you're playing a game like Diablo, where you're very high level and you're just farming for equipment.
Probably should have said before Simon went, but the commanders are the Baldur's Gate choose a background commanders, and the deck building restriction is that you have to have as starting pack for your character. There's a group we have of 11 or 12 items, and you have to choose 3 of those to start in your deck, and they don't count toward your budget. and it's all very thematic. It's like stuff that you would find in a beginner's pack for Dungeons and Dragon, like rope, torches, that kind of thing.
We'll show you a graphic with those cards right now. Realizing as I'm promising that is my responsibility.
I guess that puts us over to Kink.
Well, for my deck this season, I have chosen Will, the Blade of the Frontiers, for 2 mana, a 1/1 human warlock. And if I would roll 1 or more dice, instead, I roll that many dice, +1, and ignore the lowest roll. So, aka, I have advantage on dice rolls. And whenever I roll 1 or more dice, I put a +1 counter on Will, the Blade of Frontiers. In my background, Will is a Sword Coast Sailor. So, for 2 mana, a blue and a colorless, commander creatures I own have, whenever this creature attacks a player, if no opponent has more life than that player, the creature cannot be blocked this turn. So, the strategy is to roll dice and make Will a big boy, and he is going to punch somebody for being unblockable.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have a $25 budget, and I just want to give a angry finger wag to the people who have made Murderous Hex $20. This was in my deck when I built it this season, and it was $2. And you now ruined my budget, and I had to take it out, so thank you. Naughty finger wag for my theme, I guess. Will, in D&D lore, Will the Blade of Frontiers is a beast hunter. So he likes to hunt beast. He might be uncontrollably wanting to hunt beast. Like if he sees a big beast, he might just feel compelled to hunt it. I guess that'll bring it to you, Vo.
This season, I have chosen Sivris, the Nightmare Speaker. She is a snake cleric warlock with tap, sacrifice another creature or an artifact. For each opponent, you mill a card, then return that card from your graveyard to your hand unless that player pays 3 life. And the background I have chosen is Cloakwood Hermit, which is 2 and a green for commander creatures you own have at the beginning of your end step. If a creature was put into your graveyard from anywhere this turn, create 2 tapped 1/1 green squirrel creatures. So the little bit of lore that I was able to dig up here is that Sivris has made a pact with a primordial named Dindar, and he feeds on fears and nightmares. So he made a pact with Sivris that she can see these nightmarish visions, and in exchange, she kind of stokes up fear among the people to feed Dindar. So that's what the deck mostly wants to do. We mostly want to have some spooky horror type creatures and just try and have everyone be afraid. Budget
Yeah,
is
your budget.
$25.
Oh man.
It's the
Dude.
same budget he always has.
All right, G-Man. What you got this season?
All right. So my commander is Alora Mary Thief, and she is about whenever you attack, up to 1 target attacking creature can't be blocked this turn. Return that creature to its owner hand at the beginning of the next end step. And my background is Candlekeep Sage, and it gives commander creatures you own. When this creature enters or leaves the battlefield, draw a card. And that's what this deck is going to be about, is just a bunch of card draw, bouncing some creatures. My budget is $25.
We can start, I believe. Does anyone have any pregame?
Nope.
Wizards, you're on the draw.
I'm going to play a Plains and tap that Plains for a Ranger's Hawk. And I'll pass.
He's coming out hot.
Draw. Magic's easy. We'll play Island. We'll pass.
I'll draw. We'll do Swamp. And we'll do one for a Warlock class. I'll pass.
We're gonna do some drawing. We're gonna play this here island, and then we're gonna pass the turn.
Untap and draw. I'll play an island. Tap 2. Play a Mindstone. And then I will hit Guitar Man for 1 in the air.
Ye bastard.
And that'll be my turn.
First blood.
I will untap and draw. We will play Mountain. Tap 2. Buttnard's Everfull Purse.
Oh boy.
Pay a mana and tap it, and roll a d4 and create treasure equal to the number. And then the player to my right will get it after that. And I'll pass my turn.
I will untap draw. Play a forest. And I'll tap 2 for a Llanowar Scout. And I'll pass.
We're gonna do some drawing. Play an island, and we're gonna pay 2. Yanti Malison. As long as he's attacking by himself, he cannot be blocked. And I'm gonna venture into a dungeon. That'll be my turn then.
Untap
Dungeon.
and draw. I will play a Riptide Laboratory. And then tap 4. And cast Saravox Tome. And I will take the initiative. It's a Soul Ring when I have the initiative, and it's a Mind Stone when I don't have it. And then I can tap 3 and tap it to exile cards from the top of my library until I exile a non-land card. And I might cast that card without paying its mana cost. Activate if you've completed a dungeon. I'm gonna hit Kink for 1.
I'm going to take that
Hot dog.
1.
Pass turn.
Well, I will untap.
Oh, I go into the Undercity, and I go get a land.
Then I draw Rogue's Passage. Tap 2. Red and the colorless to play Will, the Blade of Frontiers.
Oh lord, he coming.
Then we're going to tap the blue and tap Buttnard's Everfull Purse. We'll roll a blue d4. A 4, baby! 4 treasure!
Those are crit points right there.
I don't know what to do with this
Yeah.
4 treasure. Give me a second. I think I'm going to use the 4 mana to play Arakaka Sneak. And when it enters the battlefield, I take the initiative.
Oh,
Gasp.
gasp.
Which means I venture into the fucking Undercity. I'm gonna search my library for a basic land and put it in my hand. And like Will here, he got a counter. So he's a 2/2. Pass turn.
I'm gonna untap draw. I'm gonna play a swamp. And I think we'll pay 2 for Shigeki, Jukai Visionary. I will pass the turn.
We'll untap, draw. We will play Skyline and Cascade. Comes in tapped. We're going to choose to tap down Joel's big scary thing.
It's a 2/2, but yeah, gotcha.
I don't want to get punched by it, no matter what.
It will not untap during your untap step.
Ooh.
No, that's the part you didn't say.
That is the part
Yeah.
that's important.
We're going to go to combat and swing at Mr. Initiative over there with an unblockable Yanti Malison for 2. Start the Undercity. And so search library for basic land, reveal it, and put it into my hand. And then I will pass the turn.
Untap. And draw. Island. I'll go straight to combat and hit Guitar Man for 1.
Should have tapped down your bullshit.
I'm gonna scry 2. Put this one on top and this one on bottom. I'm gonna tap 1 in the purse and roll a d4. I rolled a 2. I will make 2 treasures and pass the Gucci to the left-hand man. 5. Play Underseller Sweep. I will take the initiative again. And I'm gonna goad the Wanty Malison. They can't attack me. It's my 2 treasures. And 1 to cast Cut a Deal. Everybody may draw a card.
Whoop-a-doo.
I will draw 3. I will pass my turn.
All right, well, untap and draw. He stays tapped. Island for a Trailblazer's Torch.
Nice.
When it enters the battlefield, I take the initiative. And whenever a equipped creature becomes blocked, it deals 2 damage to each creature blocking it. And it equips for 1. So when I take the initiative, I'm going to go to the forge and put 2+1 counters on Will. We'll pass turn.
Untap draw. Level up the Warlock class. I'll look at the top 3. Put 1 into my hand. And both my 1/3s at Mr. Kinkanite.
Well, I'll block 1.
I will take the initiative. I'll go get a land. I will play that land. And I will pass the turn.
I will untap, draw, play a land for
You
turn,
have a-
tap that purse. All 4. You're not the only one giving them crit points.
Well, if I roll a 4.
3 for Eccentric Apprentice. And I will venture into the dungeon. Let's go to the forge. I'll put 2/1/1 counters on Yonti Malison. And I will go to combat. And I'm gonna swing Yonti Malison over at Vo 4.
Take 4.
Take that initiative back. I think that might be me.
Untap. And draw. Play planes. Tap 1, 2, 3, 4. And play a Midnight Pathlighter. Creatures you control can't be blocked except by legendary creatures, and whenever 1 or more creatures I control deal combat damage to a player, venture into the dungeon. I'm gonna make 2 1/1 soldiers. I will also swing 1 at Vo and 1 at Kink. I will hit you and take the initiative and draw a card. And then I will also venture into the dungeon with Midnight Pathlighter and complete the Undercity. So I will reveal the top 10 cards in my library, pick a creature, and put it into play with 3 1/1 counters, and it has hexproof until my next turn. I'll pick a Tomb of Horrors Adventurer. 3, a Cloister Gargoyle, and Tomb of Horrors Adventurer will see me play it. So, and I've completed the dungeon, so I will copy that spell twice. So I'm going to make 2 copies of Cloister Gargoyle. So I'll venture into the dungeon 3 times. I'm going to go into the Tomb of Annihilation. Each player will lose 1 life. Then each player will lose 2 life unless they discard a card. I will lose 2 life. Then each player
Yeah, I'll lose 2
loses
life.
2 life unless you sacrifice an artifact, a creature, or a land.
I will sacrifice the treasure.
I'll sacrifice a soldier. And then I have 2 more ventures from the soldiers dealing damage. I'll make the Atropole, and I'll go into Fandelver and scry 1. I'll put this card on the bottom. That will be my turn. I'll pass.
Untap and draw. Land for turn. Tap 2. Play Sword Coast Sailor. So now my commander has, when it attacks, I can not be blocked by the person with the highest life.
Oh no, that's me.
It's only 4 power. It's not gonna hurt that bad, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. We'll go to combat, and we're going to swing Will at you.
I'm going to take 4 and you get the initiative.
Yeah, I guess I'll go in the trap and just do 5 damage to you. Tap 3. And play Eccentric Apprentice. It has flying, and when it enters the battlefield, I venture into a dungeon. At the beginning of combat on my turn, if I completed a dungeon, up to 1 target creature becomes a bird with base power, toughness 1 and 1 flying. Till the end of turn, we'll go to the archives and draw a card. A pass turn.
Untap draw.
Don't forget, tap that purse.
Yep, we're gonna send it on back to Mr. Kinkanite.
That's my purse!
Gonna roll a 4. Everybody on the big 4 train. Play a swamp. Let's do 5. We'll cast an incarnation technique. The Guitar Man demonstrated. Mill 5 cards, and then you can reanimate a creature.
We'll animate Virginia Windseer, and I will roll a d20. It is a 16, so I will scry 2.
I will mill 5. We'll bring back the Dark Hatchling. It's a 3/3 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target non-black creature. We're gonna destroy the Midnight Pathlighter.
That's an excellent choice.
And then we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the second, we'll bring back Demon of Dark Schemes. It is a 5/5 flyer. When he enters the battlefield, all other creatures get -2/-2 until the end of the turn. Whenever a creature dies, I get energy. So 2 energy from wizards, creatures dying. Both those die 4 energy. Let's go to combat. Let's go both of the 1/3s at kink again.
I will block one.
Look, I'm gonna make you happy though. I'm gonna go to the forge and I'm gonna put 2+1 counters on Will.
You're
Got
crazy. What's going on? What's the catch?
There's no catch.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll kill somebody else. Pass the turn, each opponent lose 1 life from the Warlock class.
Untap.
Well,
Draw.
one of 'em.
Play a land for turn. 5 for Feywild Caretaker. And take that initiative. Pay 3 treasures. Cast the Sailor Means. And make a treasure. And then we're going to go to combat. We're going to swing a 4/3 unblockable Yanti over in Vo's direction. And I will
take
venture
4.
into that dungeon. Do the lose 5 life, and we will throw that at Kink. Go to my instep, create a fairy dragon, and pass turn.
Tap. Draw. I'm gonna go to combat, and I'm gonna swing 3 3/4s at Guitar Man. I'll swing a 7/7 at Kink.
I'll block with the Arakaka Sneak.
I'll block one with the Windseer and one with the token I just made. Take 3, and you take the initiative.
I will make a 1/1 Goblin. I'll tap 4. Cast Teleportation Circle. Oh, I was supposed to make some 1/1s as well. I'll say I swung at Vo with 2 1/1s. I
Killed
imagine
them
you
both.
blocked them.
In response to the circle, I'm gonna pay 3, and I'm gonna beast within the Tomb of Adventure, Horror Adventure.
That's totally rational. Tap 2 and cast a Jeering Homunculus. That's what I was gonna copy. I'm gonna goad Will. I'm gonna use my teleportation circle to flicker the cloister gargoyle. I will venture into the dungeon and put a +1/+1 counter on Will.
You know, I like this game.
I'm gonna foretell a card. I'll do that.
Then he passes his turn. I'll untap and draw. Play mountain. Pay 1. Tap. Buttonard's Everful Purse. A 1. That's more on par. A 4, baby! Advantage! Go to combat, and we'll go ahead and just swing Will. Because he has to. He's goaded. He's now a 8/8, and he's going to Vo, so he can't be blocked. Because he's got
After
the
I
most
give
life.
you my 2 counters,
You've got the most life.
how dare you?
You've got the most life.
It'll be remembered.
What are you talking about? There is no like choice about this. It's got the most. You got the most life. Just trust that this means it's not attacking you again, unless you show aggression.
Or if he magically has the most life again.
Well, that would suck for you. You might want to not do that. 6. Using 1 treasure for the Tomb of Horrors Adventurer.
Fuck
Aw.
When the Two Horrors Adventure enters the battlefield, I take the initiative. And when I cast my second spell each turn, I copy it. And if I've completed a dungeon, I can copy that spell twice instead, and I can choose new targets for the copy. Wow. So I enter the final stage of the dungeon and complete it. Getting Cave of Chaos Adventure. And I'll take the initiative again and go right back into the motherfucking Undercity. Search a land in my hand. Pass turn.
On tap draw. Don't have another removal spell for that thing, but we could try and just kill King.
Whoa,
We'll have
now
to
I
work
don't know about
together,
the
though.
then some. What's all this? Like, why y'all threatening
We'll
me?
have to work together.
You
though.
guys see that G-Man has the most life, right?
Swing that thing at me, and it will not make it over here.
Whoa. Threats.
I
It's
can
not a
put
good
him
way to have it not
to,
swing at you. Why are we
like,
talking about putting people to
7.
places?
I can put him,
Hold
like,
on a
7.
second. In front of my face, just open discussion?
Well, yeah, we're discussing it. All the options are on the table.
Well, what about Vo? He's got a flying demon.
I do have a flying
I
demon.
only amassed these weapons because you guys have your weapons, okay?
These
Uh,
weapons.
I don't have shit for weapons. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not even doing the main thing of my deck, which is
Look,
drawing
I'm
cards. I
over
don't know
here at
what the fuck's
26
going
life.
on.
Obviously, someone has weapons. I made these in defense. You guys don't like my squad of adventurers?
Sack these 3 to flashback Dread Return, bringing back the Wandering Troubadour. And since 3 creature die, we'll get 3 more energy. I will go to combat. I'll swing the demon at Kink for 5 in the air.
Ouch.
Ouch. And I'll take the initiative.
I have the initiative? Wow.
I think we're gonna go with go to creature. And I think we're gonna goad will just in case I somehow end up with the most life. Main 2. I'll pay 3 and 4 energy. And I'll put Wizard's Tomb of Horror Adventures into play under my control tapped.
You're an animal.
Trigger the initiative again. I'll draw a card. Go to my end step. Each opponent lose 1 life from the Warlock class. Best turn.
We'll untap, draw. I will play a land, pay 3 to cast Candlekeep Sage. We're gonna pay 4 for a Cone of Cold. Really hoping I hit a 20. 10 through 19 would be great too, though. What's that? A 7. No.
Tap all creatures opponents control.
I guess I'm just gonna go swing Yanti Malison over at.
It's Vo.
Then I will go to my instep and make a fairy dragon.
Oh, you need protection. You got the most life.
I will venture into the Undercity and draw a card. And then I'm gonna reveal card. Sign of Stygia. Alright, dice.
Cooperate.
It's seriously starting to feel like D&D. Oh, I'll table off the books. Let's try that again. That's sad too, because it was a crit in my hand. A 10. That'll do it. I'm going to tap that wheels down. It does not untap until on your next. And I will pass the turn.
I got me a purse. Untap draw. I'm gonna use that purse. What do we got?
That's my purse.
Yeah, it's just until next turn.
Let's just go straight to combat. Let's do 3 3/4s in the air at Guitar Man.
I'll block one of them with fairy and take 6.
I will take the initiative and draw a card. 6. I'm gonna cast a Valiant Endeavor.
Before we roll the dice.
I'm gonna roll 2d6 and choose one result. Destroy each creature with power greater than that result, and then create a number of 2/2 white knight creature tokens with vigilance equal to the other result.
I will pay green black, and I'll cast Golgari Charm, choosing the mode of regenerate each creature I control.
Fuck you. I thought you were going to save me.
I'm gonna roll 2d6. I got a 5 and a 5. Everything 5 or greater explodes.
Fuck
go to my end step and flicker Jeering Homunculus, and I will goad Vo's Tomb of Horrors adventure. And that will be my turn. I pass.
And I will untap and draw. Play a mountain, and we're gonna tap 4. We're gonna chain reaction, so everything dies unless
It
you
does
got
a
a
bunch of
trickery.
damage.
I'm gonna use a treasure and tap an island and cast Cosmic Intervention.
Oh lord.
So I'll get to keep just my Cloister Gargoyle and my Jeering Homunculus. Everything else will die.
I will tap 2. Rill of Possibility. Discard a mountain to draw 2. A treasure for red. And tap this to play Will. Pass turn.
On your end step, my Cloister Gargoyle and Jeering Homunculus will enter the battlefield, and I will goad Will, and I will enter the dungeon of the Mad Mage. Gain 1 life.
Tap draw. Forest. Pay 4 to cast Sivrus. And I'll pass.
Untap.
You got a
Draw.
purse, Chase.
I'm gonna tap that purse. I need the mana. All 1.
Sick.
Pay 3 for Laura. Draw a card. Play a land for turn. Pay 3 for Manowar. Bounce a Laura into my hand. Draw a card. And then I will pass the turn.
All right, untap. Upkeep. I have the initiative, so I'll scry 1. I will put that on top, and then I'll draw it for turn. I'll tap 3 and cast a Farsight Adept. When it enters the battlefield, both myself and target opponent draw a card.
Me.
Bo, you can draw a card.
Oh, thank you, sir. Oh.
3 and 1 treasure for 4 and cast Veteran Dungeoneer. I'll venture into the dungeon and create a treasure. Then I will go to combat. I'm gonna hit Guitar Man for 3 in the air. Go to my second main, tap 2 and a treasure, and cast Scouting Hawk. Get a planes tapped. And then I'll go to my end step and I'll flicker the Cloister Gargoyle with Teleportation Circle. And I will scry 2 in the Lost level. And I will top 1 and bottom the other and pass.
I will untap. Draw. We will play Island. Tap 2.
Say.
Ebony
Just
Fly.
four.
And then we're going to tap 4. Stirring Bard. He has Defender. When he enters the battlefield, I take the initiative, which I'm not in a thing, so that'll search a land to my hand. Combat. Swing 1 at Wizards. Haha. And pass turn.
You take bonk. Untap draw. We're gonna be a big old jerk.
I don't like the sound of that.
I'm gonna pay 1, and with the effect on the stack, I'm gonna sack the purse to Sivrus.
Oh my god.
Oh
Look, I need
my.
something to
My
sacrifice, and that's the only thing I have,
purse!
so I don't know
You
what to do.
son
What.
of a bitch.
I got a 4.
I saw what he did to my purse, right?
Yeah, he snatched it.
Get
and...
him.
Trigger my commander for the first time. Feels good. Mr. Guitar Man.
Yes.
Sfogthos, the Restless Tomb. It is a land that taps for colorless mana and has an activated ability of 3 black green. Until end of turn, Sfogthos, the Restless Tomb becomes a black and green plant zombie creature. With this power, creature's power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures in your graveyard.
I will not pay the 3 life.
Right to my hand, Mr. Wizard. A Massacre Girl.
Pay 3 life.
And Kink a Swamp.
You could have it.
Like, you see what happened there? Very thematic. I gave him nightmares of Massacre Girl, and he said, oh, no thanks. Let's play Sfogthos, the Restless Doom. Let's do 4 to cast Under Mountain Adventurer. When he enters the battlefield, take the initiative. Ability is Tap, add green. If you've completed a dungeon, add 6 green instead.
Oh Lord.
I will complete the Undercity. So we'll look at the top 10. We'll get Willowgeist. He is a 1/1 with trample that says whenever one or more cards leave my graveyard, he gets a +1 counter, and when he dies, I gain life equal to his power. I get 3 counters and hexproof from the Undercity. Pay 3, get Cloakwood Hermit into play, so that Sivers can start summoning the Skirrid. I'll go to my end step and I will make 2 Squirrels. And I'll pass.
Untap.
God, it feels good.
Draw. Play an island. Pay 5 for Prosperous Pirates. Make 2 treasures. Pay 3 for Allura. Draw a card. We'll go to combat, and we're going to attack with Manowar, and Allura will make it unblockable. And it will be going at... It's coming at you.
Yep.
Manowar will go to my hand. I will pay 3. Cast Manowar and bounce Allura back to my hand and draw a card. We'll end my turn there.
Tap 3 and Saravak's Tome and give this a whirl. I've never done this before. I'm gonna cast the next non-land card I see. Reflector Mage, bam. Then I'll go to combat, and I'll just like full swing at you, Guitar Man. I really want that first
Whoa!
bet.
I will use 2 of the mana to flash out Merfolk Trickster block. One with Merfolk and one with Allure.
3/3 will die. 3 1/1s on the ground, a 3/4 in the air, and a 1/1. So that's 7 damage.
I draw a card too.
I'll
Off
take
of
the
Allure
initiative.
leaving the battlefield.
I'll make 2 1/1 skeletons and go to my second main. I'll tap 3. And I'll cast Nadar, Selfless Paladin. I'm going to scry 3.
He's trying.
I'm going to put 1 on top and 2 on bottom. Then I'll go to my end step, and I will flicker my Cloister Gargoyle. I will complete the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and draw 3 and cast 1. Beloved Chaplain. I'll put the other 2 in my hand. That's it. Fast turn.
We'll untap and draw. Play land. We're gonna tap 4 mana. We're gonna tap Ebony Fly and roll d6, and until the end of turn, Ebony Fly is gonna become an XX insect artifact for flying, where X is the result. Give it a nice shake 'em up, shake 'em up, shake 'em, shake 'em, shake 'em. 5.
Not bad.
So it will be a 5/5 with flying, and whenever it attacks, something else gets flying. Not so
Advantage.
important. Tap 3. It's Scion of Stygia. Oh yeah, also Will got a counter from rolling dice.
Nice.
And we're going to target
Alright, big
your
money.
flying thing with the Cone of Cold that the Scion does. So we're gonna roll our 20 here. It's red
on,
and
big
blue
money.
for our deck because red and blue. Ooh, 17. I have advantage.
It's a crit.
17. Gonna tap and not untap till its next untap step. Go to combat. Swing the Ebony Fly and the Will, who now has an additional counter from the dice roll, so he's a 3/3 at you there, wizards.
Is Will unblockable?
He gets
Yes.
flying, and he's unblockable.
I do take that initiative, so we will go into phase 2 of the dungeon, which will put 2+1 counters on Will. We will pass turn.
Go to combat. Swing at wizard with 2 1/1 squirrels and a 4/4 Willowgeist.
I'll block the biggest creature with the Beloved Chaplain, and I'll block the 1/1s with 2 skeletons.
Okay. Rolls will die. 7. We'll use 5, floating 2 green to cast Diregraph Rebirth, targeting my Demon of Dark Schemes. Demon of Dark Schemes will come into play, and it will give all creatures -2/-2. Let's use the demon. So 4 energy down to 21. Bring back the Troubadour. I'll play a swamp. We get another counter on Willowgeist. Move to the end step. I'm gonna make 2 squirrels and trigger the Wandering Troubadour, the Tomb of Annihilation. All right. Each player loses 1 life, and then each of my opponents will lose another life from the Warlock class. Pass the turn.
I will untap and draw 3 Soaring Show Off. Everybody draw a card.
Whoa!
Reliquary Tower. Pay 3 for Dream Thief. Draw a card. 5. Laura. Draw 2 for Thieving Skydiver. And then I will pass the turn.
It's got that pesky initiative.
Gink.
Whoa, now we can talk about some stuff and things.
I'll play a Plains. I'll tap 2 for an Arcane Signet, 6 for a Radiant Solar. When it enters the battlefield or another non-token creature enters the battlefield, I venture into the dungeon. I'm going to go into the Tomb of Annihilation. Seems like a cool place to be. Everybody wants to be there. Everybody loses 1 life.
Super cool
Sweet.
place. The best place. Everyone loves it.
Everyone loves it here. I'm going to swing out at you, dude.
What do you mean?
You get a 3/4, a 3/3, and a 2/3 coming at
And
you.
2 2/2s.
I'm also going to venture into the dungeon. So
Reverse.
each player loses 2 life unless they discard a card.
Well, I'll block one
I'm gonna
with the one of the 3s with my bard.
I'll discard
taking
that Spray Scope.
7
Scope went
cards out
bye-bye.
of the gate.
I'll take the initiative from you, though. Each player
About
loses
that
2 life unless they
initiative.
sacrifice an artifact, a creature, or a land. I'm going to sacrifice the land.
Why are you making me do this? I'm gonna sacrifice my torch.
I'll sacrifice a squirrel.
I'm going to go to my second main, tap Cervex Tome and an island to cast a Displacer Beast. So I'll venture into the dungeon twice, once off the Beast and once off the Radiant Solar. I'll make the Atropole, and then I'll make everyone lose life as I go back in.
Well, I'm going to sacrifice Skyline Cascade.
I'll go to my end step, and I'll use Teleportation Circle on Veteran Dungeoneer. Or no, I'll do it on the Cloister Gargoyle. And I'll venture twice. So each player loses 2 life unless they discard a card. I'll discard Excavation Technique.
Discard
Hmm.
Konya. I'll sack a squirrel to the other trigger.
And then each player will lose 2 life unless you sacrifice an artifact, a creature, or a land.
Discard barbarian class and fuck you. I'll
Sacrifice
sacrifice
the
this
soldier.
island.
Alright, I'll take 2 life, and then I will sacrifice Dream Thief.
I will go to my end step and pass.
I'll untap
Heck.
draw. I'm going to tap 3 for Berserker's Frenzy.
Oh my
Oh,
lord.
Lord.
So I roll
I
2
don't know what that
d20,
does.
which means I'm going to roll 3 d20 because I have advantage. 1 through 14, choose any number of creatures. They block this turn if able. But I'm trying to go for the 15 through 20 because I choose which creatures block this turn and how those creatures block. We're hoping to get that 15 through 20. Come
Oh
on,
my
d20s.
God.
Oh my god. 6, a 3, and a 5. You gotta be shitting me.
Oh.
So I choose any number of creatures and they block this turn if able.
Felt like D&D.
I'm not even gonna choose any. I'm gonna just tap 4. Play Herald of the Streams. So creatures I control with +1 counters on them cannot be blocked. I reckon we're gonna go to combat. We'll swing 5 at Wiz.
I'm gonna tap 2. I will cast Runaway together.
Oh, that's sick. You're a sick man.
I'll send, I don't know, the demon and Will back to your hands.
Oh, cool.
The
Thank you.
demon, and before the demon bounces off the board, I am going to pay 3 and 4 energy to bring back Direfleet Ravager. Each player loses a third of their life rounded up.
That's not good.
I'll sack the Direfleet Ravager to Severus. And we'll have, for Guitar Man, a Swamp.
Yeah, go ahead, take it.
Okay,
Who
for
cares?
Wizard, a Whisper Blood Liturgist.
3 life.
That's right, you're an animal. And Kink, a Changeling Outcast.
Yeah, you could have it.
So still before the demon goes, we'll bring back Wizard's Tomb of Horror Adventurer and trigger the initiative.
Oh, that's
Hmm.
bad.
I'm going to go into the oubliette. I will discard a card, sacrifice an artifact, a creature, and a land. Untap. 1, 2, whoopie doo.
Hmm.
Untap draw. Let's tap Severus and sack Willow Geist. I'll gain 7 life. Guitar Man, a forest.
Take it.
Wizard, a forest.
You can have it.
Kink, a swamp. Well, found on my land. Great.
That's yours.
Thank you. We're going to play a swamp. 5 to cast Vrock. Vrock is a 3/3 bird demon that says at the beginning of
Damn
your
it.
end step, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, each opponent loses 3 life. We are going to go to combat. We're going to declare no attacks. We're going to move to the end step, where I will have 3 triggers. First, we'll trigger the Wandering Troubadour to finish the Tomb of Annihilation.
Not important.
Then we'll have Warlock class drain each opponent for 1 life. And finally, Severus's Nightmarish Torments take over Baldur's Gate. Everyone's overtaken by nightmares of vultures, tearing them apart. And each opponent will lose 3 life. Categories, we have Kink, most commander casting his commander twice and his background once. Me and Guitar Man had 1 cast of the commander and the background. Wizard had no cast of the commander in the background.
Lose points for that?
You do. Wizard had the most combat damage, followed by Mr. Kinkanite. Nobody got the 20 damage from a single source. And nobody saved anybody. Ain't nobody saving nobody. We'll go to the voting. Starting with Wizard for the splashiest play.
Flashiest play, I'm putting 2 points on Berserker's Frenzy. It wasn't successful, but it was splashy, and if it did do its thing, I would be dead. So I'm putting points on that, because I respect that splash. Then I'll do the 1 point for getting to Vo for getting the lose a third of your health. Once that guy came out, I was like, oh, then it's over. With an honorable mention to sacrificing the purse.
I am going to give my 2 points to Wizard for, I'm not sure if it was 1 play or if it was just a good series of starting turns, but the splash was felt from your start to where it was a problem. The 1 is going to go to sacrificing my purse.
Yeah, hell yeah. That was sick.
That was my purse! And you just, I don't know what you did to it. But it was gone, and I was upset. So, 1 point for that, because it was splashy. I felt the splash.
I am also going to give 2 to the Berserker's Frenzy. Because even though it didn't work, everybody's like, oh shit, this is it. This is it. And he's just got a handful of D20, just fucking. I'm going to give the runner up to Scion of Stygia.
We'll give the 2 points to the sacking of the purse. I just thought, I don't know. I just feel like there was nothing splashier you could do. Hey, you know this purse that everyone loves? In the garbage.
That's
That thing, that turn where you tap down Wizard's Flyer, so that you could attack him with Wills in your flyer, and Wills got flying and punched him in the
another
face.
point for Scion of Stygia,
That was another Scion Stygia play.
Yeah.
Cody's
Stygia,
hold.
I guess I'll put it back in my deck. Best theme. I think I do have to give you the 2 points for the combo of your commanders. Like they just really worked together. You drew a lot of cards and you took the initiative. Like it was doing exactly what you want to do in these games. And it felt very thief-like, being unblockable and then bouncing away and drawing cards and getting information. It was very cool. So 2 points to Guitar Man. 1 point to Vogue. It was Nightmare, 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 Nightmare.
2 to Wizards, 1 to Vo.
Want to give 2 to Kink. He was out here hunting them monsters. If you the biggest guy around, you getting hunted. Please don't. I gave you guy 2 counters. Well, you're the biggest guy around, so
It just is what it is. I want to hunt you.
I'm gonna give the 1 to Wizard.
So you're gonna get the 2 for speed running the dungeons. Hank's, your laser focus was the entire game, though. Just you kept at the person with the biggest life total. You did not deviate. So you stuck to the monster hunter very well, and so you will get the 1 point. Although it's a tough decision.
I'll ship it back to Wizard for the most valuable card.
I think I'm gonna give 2 points to Candlekeep Sage. Carmen's
Yeah.
background. I'm gonna give 1 point to Sword Coast Sailor. Those backgrounds really impressed me. I didn't really think about how I would play with them, but they're really, really cool in this format.
We are going to have to give it to that motherfucking sweeping seller.
Yeah, that's true.
That thing was spitting out 2 additional dudes all over the place.
It'd be a lot cooler if I remembered it every time it triggered.
Yeah, probably. And I'd probably give it like 3 points, but it's only getting 2. And the 1 point.
You
The
put that demon
Yuan T. Malison.
I think I want to say the teleportation circle for 2. I think I want to give the 1 to either Alora or the Candlekeep Sage. I think I go with a. It's so close. The Candlekeep Sage draws cards, but Alora gets the initiative basically. So they're like on the same level, I think.
Yeah, +2 for the teleportation circle. That definitely put in work. You know, I'm gonna give it to Bucknards. It really sped up the start of the game.
4th place to Guitar Man with 30 points.
Holy shit!
4th place with 30 points.
This
What
season, baby.
the fuck?
3rd place with 33 points. It's gonna go to Mr. Kink Knight. 2nd place with 34 points will go
Whoa.
to Vo, which means Mr. Wizard Lizard coming in 1st with 42 points.
Like this video and subscribe to the PTW YouTube channel to see more content and find out when our new videos release.
Follow the PTW Twitch channel and subscribe for ad-free viewing.
Don't forget to follow that Facebook and that Twitter to keep up with all the good news.
Thank you all for watching.
Get on.